So you represent the San Diego Padres. Go Padres. I love my San Diego Padres. You've been doing that for 10 years. Mm-hmm. How did you get that contract? What does that entail? And are you enjoying it?
Okay. I get that question a lot. So I had a client that actually was hired into the human resources department of the Padres about 10 and a half years ago.
A client.
Yep.
Here we go again.
Yes. And a client that I helped with get out of a short sale back in, I think it was like 2008 or 9.
Law of reciprocity, guys.
Mm-hmm. And then from there, she had just reached out to me. And, you have to remember at that time, the Padres were, we got a lot of fair weather fans.
42 years in this thing.
Yeah, they were,
yes.
They were not that great. And so, but, nonetheless, I'm an avid sports fan, big baseball, softball fan. And so she had just said, are you interested in talking with anyone from the Padres? I have a contact and they want someone with your credentials, et cetera. And I'm like, okay, so long story short, I met with the CEO, several different marketing directors, and they put together a proposal that would be a win-win where I get to also market as well, have a lot of different advertisement in the actual ballpark on the signage, as well as rotate on the TVs. I have, season tickets, suites. I get to go to a lot of different events. I also get to have like a Padre player appearance, throw out the first pitch. All my family has thrown out the first pitch. Play ball kid. I mean, you name it. I have a lot of really cool affiliations. And so it was something that I had a great opportunity. I took it. They were happy with, the credentials and all of my history. So there was still that aspect that I had to prove to the Padres.
Yep.
And
Your
then as
CV got you there.
Right.
But then you owned it once you were in.
Right.
Yeah.
And as I mentioned, it took about 6 years to get in with like the traveling secretary, the front office, ownership, because not only do I help the players, but also ownership, different, there's a huge, over 200 people at the front office as well. So once I helped one of, those employees, then the word spread, right? And it's so much more meaningful when you have an internal referral versus just seeing my name, on the billboard.
Park.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they know me personally. And so again, 6 years. And from there now I really know a lot of the staff. I know a lot of the players. Obviously there's new players every year as well. And so it's just a great working relationship. And then from there, of course, I get to advertise with all the season ticket holders, all their marketing partners. It's just a phenomenal affiliation that no one else has. That really also sets me apart, on my listing appointments and things of that nature.
So dope. Amazing. Let's talk about nonprofits, because obviously you might be making a little bit of coin from that relationship, and good for you. But let's talk about how you give back, Melissa, to, maybe the underprivileged or the nonprofit sector, and maybe even some recommendations on, how those things, why you chose those nonprofits. And people are looking for places to give coming up at the end of the year here. Any suggestions that you could give?
So actually, I donate a percentage of every commission to the San Diego Foundation. San Diego Foundation is a nonprofit that actually donates to a variety of different charitable organizations, whether it's cancer research, Radies, March of Dimes, American Red Cross.
How long has the organization been around?
The organization's been around over 30 years.
Okay.
And they actually have one of their buildings in Liberty Station.
Okay.
It's an amazing affiliation just because regardless of the transaction, it comes out of, every transaction that I do. But then besides that, I have a lot of people in my family that have had cancer. I lost my father at a very young age of cancer. And so I donate to a lot of the cancer societies. And then also because I have 3 children, like the Radies organization and St. Jude's, seeing kids with cancer just breaks my heart. And so anything I could do to help in that space. But another affiliation from my Padres affiliation that I got involved with is the San Diego Sports Association, which is a nonprofit organization for underprivileged youths that have dealt with alcohol, drugs, that the athletic programs have helped them get out of that and get into college, be successful. And that has been really, really rewarding to give back. And then, they have ceremonies at the end of the year and then throughout the year where they give these scholarships to these kids that, you hear these horrible stories, both parents in prison, they didn't have any opportunity, but this organization helped because of their involvement in youth sports and athletics. And then, you see them come back a few years later and it's changed their life. And then now they're a spokesperson, for that next kid in high school that's having those same struggles.
I love it so much. I'm a Section 8 welfare kid raised out in East County. That's partially why we started this podcast, Melissa, for people like you to be able to have a voice, and some little kid who maybe doesn't have the best upbringing, maybe sees some struggles in life that others don't see. Hey, if I work super hard, I can be like Melissa Goldstein Tucci. She learned how to knock doors. She didn't come for much. She was willing to cold call. She was willing to be a good person and do all these things to provide value to her clients. And you can see the rewards over time. You're giving back to these organizations. That's partially why I started this podcast as well. You guys can make it. You guys can do it. You got to be willing to do the work. No one's going to do it for you, but there are people out there that will mentor you, sponsor you, and help you. Give me one hack. Skip the line for the people.
Work hard, believe in yourself, and whatever anyone tells you, you could do it and you could be successful. You just have to make yourself believe that and just keep at it and don't give up.